Hello everyone, welcome back to Rolling Solo. My name is Adam Smith, and in the last video, the camera battery died. And we were actually finished Father Mateo's turn, and we had just turned to William York. So we're gonna pick up exactly where we were in the last video, so there's nothing lost. I do apologize for that super short video. I also wanna just apologize in general for the last couple of videos have been just really, really poor in terms of focusing and all kinds of little issues that I've been dealing with. But I am gonna push through and continue on because that's the thing to do. So I'm still having a blast, but I am having some technical difficulties for sure with my current setup. But anyway, so we're gonna get back to this. We'll go with William York here. So William, you've got two actions. What do you want to do? So one thing we could do is we could have William actually come over to this space and potentially help Father Mateo with the combination lock he was trying to open, which wouldn't be a bad idea, but I don't want to waste too much time. So I'm kind of tempted to crack this door and see what's on the other side of it. I'm really tempted to do that actually. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to have him explore into the next room. What does it say that this actually even is? It says you suspect an unmarked door leads to a bedroom. Okay, so that's a bedroom. What's at the other end of the hall down here? A wooden plaque marked library is fastened to the center. Ooh, library. I kind of like the idea of heading to the library maybe. So maybe what I'll do is I'm going to move him here, a move action to here, and then what I'm going to do is, and one thing I do want to check really quick before I continue is I want to check something on the move action really fast because I want to see whether I can, and I'm almost 100% positive I read this, that you can split your move actions up. So like you can basically take a move action but do something in between it. And I just want to double check that that's correct before I do it. So it says, for a move action, investigator can perform a move action up to 2 spaces. Investigator may interrupt his move action to perform another action. Oh, perfect, there you go. So that's awesome. Oh, that's great. So really it's just the evading essentially that really causes any kind of difference there. So that's amazing, I like that. So that's a really, really cool and smart way to make this work. So essentially I can use a move action, gets me into this room here, or this tile area right here. And then I still technically have one move to use, but I can first explore. So let's do that and see what's behind this door. So it's a library, we're gonna explore it, and bam, there you go. It says the door creaks on its hinges as you push it open to reveal the library. Bookshelves line the walls. Discard this Explorer token and place the library tile and a wall as indicated. So this Explorer token is now going to go back. Now the job on our side is going to be to try to pull together the library tile. So let's go ahead and grab our stack of tiles here, which is not exactly small, and try to figure out which one is the oh, there we go. I think I found it. That was faster than I thought it would. So there we go, and then this library tile is going to line up like so, if I'm correct. So we got another library tile right there. So there's 2 areas in this library. There's also what looks to be a picture covering this door. So this doorway right here isn't a part of this scenario. It's actually covered over with a picture. So really it's just a closed off library area. Interesting. It also says that there's a search token. A pile of research materials that have been recently used sits on the small wooden desk. Place a search token as indicated. So we're going to have a search token which sits up here on the desk area that we can check out. There's also another search token. A robed figure is pushing a bookshelf back into place. Place a search token as indicated. Well, that's creepy. So there's like potentially a hidden passageway behind the bookshelf right there. That's kind of crazy. And then the robed figure draws out a strange idol and begins chanting. Before your very eyes, a terrifying creature appears out of thin air. The cult member speaks some words to it in a strange language, but the creature turns on him, tearing him to pieces before your eyes. Oh my gosh. Spawn a deep one in the library is indicated, then suffer 2 horror. Your will negates. Oh my gosh. Okay. Jeez. Okay, so the deep one is going to spawn right in this room. Yeah, okay, so he's in there. He's also going to attack whoever opened the door. So it was William York who did this. His will is 4. Thankfully, he's got the Holy Cross on him, so that's going to give him 5 dice to roll. So that's a plus. So we're going to go ahead and grab our 5 dice. We're trying to basically get 2 so that we can negate any of this horror damage that this deep one is trying to inflict on us. And we got 1, but we do have a clue, so I'll use that clue to turn one of these to 2 successes in order to ensure we negate all the horror damage it would have done. So we're okay there. And you may move 1 space into the explored area. So for free, we can move in here. Now this essentially would make our next move kind of useless because I probably wouldn't end up going to the back of the room anyway, so I'll just move in using that free action, and I'm essentially happy where I'm at. But that's going to be the end of his turn. He can't do any attacking, and Father Mateo has already taken his turn, so that's essentially it. So the sad thing is we can't do anything against this guy. He's going to be active in the Mythos phase, which is kind of tragic for both of us. So we're going to end the investigator phase and head into the Mythos phase. It says a loose fluttering page covered in barely legible text catches Father Mateo's eye. Unable to resist, he reads. Father Mateo suffers 2 face down horror and his lore negates. Now he's got 4 lore, and that's basically it. So I'm going to try to negate these 2 face down horror that he could get. Okay, good. I can use this right here, which I'm going to do to change one of these to 2 successes. So we negate all of that. And I don't have to... And it says, then he flips 1 horror face up. Oh, so... Yikes. So unable to resist, he reads, Father Mateo suffers 2 face down damage. The lore negates, which I was able to do, but then he flips 1 horror up anyway. So then I have to choose one of these 3 horrors and flip it up. So I'm going to flip this one up. It's a steely resolve. Resolve immediately. Become focused and then flip this card face down. Oh, sweet. Okay. Now, I've never really become focused, so I think it might be worthwhile for the majority of us that have not played this game before to quickly look it up and just see exactly what that entails. From what I understand, it's a good thing. Where is focus? Oh, interesting. It doesn't have an actual focus as a keyword in this reference document. Interesting. Okay. That's kind of weird. I would have thought that would have been in the quick reference guide, but I guess it is not. Let me see if it's in the Learn to Play book. Are these conditions... Features, barricades, darkness, puzzle sets, so many problems. Interesting. So I don't actually know what focused is, which I feel bad about because I can't find it here. I know it's a positive thing for me. That's all I know about it. I'm kind of surprised it's actually not its own thing in this book. I can't find it. So I'm going to have to maybe look that up in between videos to try to figure out exactly what that is, because for some strange reason it is not mentioned in here. Or at least it's not as a keyword. So I'm going to go ahead and continue on this because we were able to do that no problem and see what happens next. Oh my gosh, a robed figure bursts into the entrance and yells, "There's someone here." You hear a muffled response from another part of the estate. Get rid of them. Spawn a cultist as indicated. So essentially we have caused a little bit of a disturbance, and a cultist has actually showed up at the front door entryway of the mansion. Okay, and then it says the deep one moves 2 spaces toward the nearest investigator and then attacks the investigator in its space with the highest, and I can't tell what that symbol is. Oh, that is the influence. So he's currently moving 2 spaces toward the nearest investigator. So he's already in the same room as William York, and William York has influence of 3, whereas Father Mateo has an influence of 4. So it looks like he's going to be attacking Father York because he moved into the nearest space first, and this is guy he moves into the space with the nearest investigator first, and then checks for the highest influence as a second way of dividing things up. But it's going to be William York in this case. So he is going to be able to get an attack. The deep one makes a hideous croaking sound as it jumps at you, tearing with its many rows of sharp teeth. Suffer 2 damage, your strength negates. So 4 on my strength is there. So I'm going to definitely use all 4 on my dice. Now this is the bad thing, is that you'll notice Father Mateo and William, who's currently involved in this battle, doesn't have any clues. We've run out of clues. We've used all of them. So we're really, oh, that's where things went south. Okay, so let me see. Rolling addition. I have nothing to stop me on that. So now at this point in time, we take 2 damage. And when it's 2 damage, you have to essentially flip them over in order to see what they are. So I got a concussion out of that. Your head feels clouded as your thoughts swim through a fog. Resolve immediately. Discard 1 clue, then flip this card face down. Okay, well, I don't have a clue, so that's good. And then I got minor injury, only a flesh wound. Resolve immediately, no additional effect, flip it down. Nice. Okay, so I got 2 cards that didn't really do too much to me, but still not good. So we'll go ahead and continue. The cultist moves up to 2 spaces to be in a space with as many investigators as possible. Then it attacks each investigator in its space. Cultist moves up to 2 spaces to be in a space with as many investigators as possible. Okay, is there anybody within 2 spaces? 1, 2. There is not. So there's no investigator within 2 spaces. The cultist moves 2 spaces towards the nearest investigator. So basically the cultist is going to go like this. 1, and then he's going to come through the door 2. So he's coming after us. He does not like us. And then it says each investigator must resolve a horror check against the monster within range with the highest horror rating. After all horror rating checks have been resolved, tap the end phase button. So horror for these guys, I'm just going to double check really quick because it's the first time actually that I've had multiple characters there, but we only do a check against one of them is the way that this particularly works. But I just want to make sure I'm grabbing the right number out of the 2 when we do this check. So, where is it? There we go. It is the number 2, so it's the bottom right. So the one with the highest within range, so really it's going to be this guy. It's going to be the one we're going to be doing the horror check against. Okay, perfect. So what we'll want to do is we'll click this button, and then because both of them are within range of this guy, and he has the highest, so we'll start with we'll start with William York against the deep one. So we'll click on the deep one and resolve a horror check for them. The deep one scratches at itself idly, then tosses aside what seems to be a slawed off skin. As it lands at your feet, you realize that the skin is human, the exact same shade as yours. Suffer 2 horror. Your will -1 negates. I have roll 1 additional on my will, so 5, but then the -1 off that takes away a dice. So really I'm just back to the 4, and I just need to get 2 successes to negate the horror I'd be taking. And I didn't get enough. I got 1, so I'm going to end up taking 1 horror, which I'm going to have to take a look at and see what I got. It's paranoia. You find yourself imagining all the ways your friends could hurt you. Keep face up. Whenever you end your turn within range of another investigator, flip 1 horror face up. Okay, so there we go. That's kind of nasty. Whenever you end your turn within range of another investigator, flip. Oh wow! Whenever you end your turn within range of another investigator, flip 1 forward. That's bad. So I'm just getting paranoia. Essentially, just means if I'm staying close to somebody. If I'm within range, that's terrible because it's just 3 away. It's going to trigger, and that's really nasty. It doesn't trigger through doors though, so as of right now I'd be okay, but still not good. All right, so that's that, and then we completed that. So now we'll do another horror check. This is for Father Mateo. A thick fishy aroma fills the air as the deep one exhales fumes. You do your will 2 check. So we come over here and take a look. It's 5 for will. So we luckily get 5, and we just need 2 in order to negate this. We got it. If you pass, the stench is horrid, but you keep your calm. Done deal. And that's it. We are done the horror checks. Now we go ahead and we can end the mythos phase and go back to the investigator phase. All right, so I think this is a good time to probably stop this video because I think the next section will likely take longer than 5 or so minutes. So I think this is a great time to stop. Hope you guys are enjoying. I do want to point out the fact that I do realize, I think a little earlier in the video, I gave Father Mateo, I think it was a couple health, let me just double check. It was the Instill Bravery, I think, and I got no, it wasn't that one. Just checking here. Oh no, I did okay because it was a face down damage. I was just double checking because I was thinking that maybe possibly I put these damages on. I should have been face up to start, but they actually did say face down, so I'm good with that. And then I played William York correct. It is a very interesting mechanic in this game to try to remember that when you get a damage that you can't negate, that unless it says so, it's always face up. And then sometimes it can go face down. It's a very interesting mechanic. I like it. It's just a lot to remember, especially when you're playing multiple characters. But it's a blast. I'm loving this. So hope you guys are enjoying. If you saw anything I missed, let me know. And if you like what you saw, hit the like button. I do really want to apologize for the previous video because it was super quick and the battery just got me at the end of the video and I didn't have any warning. But yeah, hope you guys are enjoying, and subscribe if you haven't, and I will see you in the next episode of Mansions of Madness. Keep on rolling solo.